It's time for the weekly sports page with the dynamic David Coleman. Stay tuned for thrills, chills, and yes, spills. Oh yeah, and a whole lot of other great stuff. Call 855-525-5683.
Good morning, everybody.
Dynamic Sports PA or Facebook. Drop a line on Dynamic Weekly Sports Show. Sit back, relax, and groove while Dynamic drops sports in your ear hole. Now here's Dynamic David Coleman.
Boom. What's up? We are in the hizzy this morning. It's the weekly sports magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. Here every Saturday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. talking sports. Yeah, that's how we do this thing. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me if you want to talk sports. You can also go out to the Facebook page, weeklysportsmagazine.com. It's out there kicking back. And of course, you can send me an email, weeklysportsmagazine@gmail, or hit me up on Twitter @weeklysportsmag. We do it every Saturday morning just like this. So before we get started, let's just make sure that we are talking to the people and giving a shout out to, hey, I was out of town last week, so went to Memphis, had a little business to take care of, had a little pleasure to indulge in, did them both. So what's up, Memphis? How you doing today? Let's go to Nashville, Tennessee. How about my Nashville Predators? What's happening? How you doing up there in Nashville? Atlanta. Y'all up and kicking already this morning. So is New York City. How y'all doing? Orlando, Florida, Miami, and Pensacola. I see you down there. Let's see who else we got out there. And how about let's go to Nowlands. Nowlands is one of my favorite cities. And of course, the food ain't too bad either. You know what I'm saying? It is fantastic. All right, Dallas, Texas. Kim Davis, how you doing? Houston. Yeah, Houston. My good buddy Kenny Muntz down there. Los Angeles, California. And of course, Las Vegas, soon to be home of my Oakland Raiders. I can't wait to hit my ticket up. Hey, that's going to be a heck of a weekend. Going to see the Raiders and Vegas. Man, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. Wow. All right, San Francisco, San Diego, and of course, Seattle, Washington. How's it going up there in that area? Denver, Colorado. Yeah, we see you. My baby girl in Chicago. Keep your head down up there, baby girl. It's dangerous. And last but not least, my son, Akili Kari Coleman in Hawaii. He's in paradise. I told him don't call me with any problems. He's in paradise. You'd be surprised what happens in paradise. It's the weekly sports magazine. This is how we do it every Saturday morning. Got a great artist coming up for you later on as well. As a matter of fact, while I was in Memphis, I actually thought about this artist. And I said, hey, I haven't played this band on the show yet. You thought I was going to sneak and tell you whether it was going to be male or female. Well, it's both, and it is a band. So it's pretty cool on that. So y'all stick and stay for that. By the way, those of you on Facebook, hey, I'm out there. What's happening? Glad to see you. You on YouTube, your recording is happening as well. Glad to see you also. Hope everything is going all right with everybody today. We've got a lot of sports to talk about. We've got college basketball. We've got professional basketball. We've got the NFL draft. It's just a whole lot of other things. And hey, did y'all know there was like a World Baseball Classic? Did y'all know that? Well, of course I did. No one watches it in America. I mean, it's exciting everywhere else, but people in America is like, who cares? You know, it's another one of those ginned up tournaments that they've created that they want people to watch. They're trying to make money off of. So far, America doesn't care. Now the other countries, I mean, they had teams like from Israel and everywhere else. It was pretty interesting. Of course, I didn't watch it. I just report on it, okay? We may have Larry Ridley on later on this morning. Jason Matthews is out this morning. I do want to tell you that I'm probably going to be out again next weekend. I know, I apologize. But, you know, you got to, you know, with the way my schedule is, you got to kind of take the days when you can get the days. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably going to be out again next weekend. That'll be the last Saturday for a while, I think. But we'll see. All right. And want to remind people that I've got a grant seminar coming up. We'll give you a lot more information about that. Don't forget a Father's Family Affair. We are raising money to put on this event. We need your support, your help, your dollars, your bodies, whatever you can do. We need you. All right. You can give me a call at 615-554-0568. And that'll give you information. I'll give you tons of information on that. Or go out to a fathersfamilyaffair.com. It's tons of information on the website. I know because I built the website. So go out there and check that out. Okay? So much stuff to talk about. Where should we start? Basketball. NFL. And by the way, this morning, I'm going to talk a little bit about Lavar Ball. Those of you who don't know Lavar Ball, he is the father of 3 phenomenal young basketball players. All 3 of them now are out of the tournament. But LeVar Ball has said some outlandish things. And whether you agree or disagree with him, there are some things that I do agree with LeVar Ball on. And I'm going to talk about those today as well, because I think he's being beaten up in the media. And to some extent, it's because of his mouth. But if you really look behind what he's saying about his kids, he has every right to do what he's doing. Okay? So we're going to talk about that this morning as well. Let's see what else we got on the agenda. Of course, we'll talk NFL. We're going to talk a lot of college basketball. I will reflect back a little bit, and when we come back after the break, as a matter of fact, we'll start a little bit with college basketball this morning, and I'll reflect back on the Arkansas Carolina game. Although it's over, there's nothing you can do about it. We're already in the Sweet 16, but it's a weekly show, so we kind of look back at things that happened during the week that we didn't talk about or we couldn't talk about. Okay, and I just thought about something else I need to reflect on as well. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'll tell you what I want to do here, so we can stay on time as much as possible. I'm going to go ahead and take my first break, okay? And when we come back, we'll jump smack dab in the middle of the headlines and get you up to date on what's happening along those lines. And then we'll also get into some of the other things and some of the commentary that you enjoy so much as well. It's that time. You need to, what do we tell people? Hey, you need to reach over and pinch them on the butt. Pinch a woman, pinch a man, pinch a dog. Pinch somebody and say, hey, Dave Copeland's on the air. It's the weekly sports magazine on joinnetradio.com.
If you had to know how much money would you be willing to give? $50, $100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with A Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 could make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 can make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 10410 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation at thefathersfamilyaffair.com right now. Heads up, people. Join us June 8th through the 10th, 2017 for a Father's Family Affair. It's a day to accentuate, celebrate, and motivate positive fathers in our community. On that day, we'll uplift and show some love to the dynamic men in our lives, our brothers, uncles, fathers, and friends. Support this event with your tax-deductible contributions. Proceeds for the event go to Part of the Solution, a great nonprofit right here in the Little Rock area. Tell a friend, tell your church, tell everybody. A Father's Family Affair, June 8th, 9th, and 10th, Philander Smith College campus. Come out and enjoy a day of hula hooping, water gun fights, and Zumba dancing, along with a uniquely natural hair fashion show. Black Riders on Tour, Southern Edition, featuring Kendra Norman and Dr. Rosie Milligan. That's just the start. We'll see you there June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com. Don't miss it.
Hey friends, let me tell you how I discovered Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and learned to bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah. I recently planned a family get-together, but my caterer became ill. We had pounds of meat, but nothing for seasoning. I rushed to the grocer and found Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, which comes in 2 great flavors, hot and spicy and original, sitting above the meat counter. Took it home, then logged on to ribrub.com for some great recipes. If you've tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub, I don't have to tell you what a hit my ribs, chicken, and burgers were. If you haven't, what are you waiting on? Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub is not just for grilling. Get one of the convenient flavor seal bags and try it on veggies and snacks. It's a dry marinade, so add a little or a lot, but make sure you add Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub to whatever you're cooking, and you too will say bake it, grill it, shake it.
All right, we got a good one coming back for you.
ribrub.com and get great recipes and store locations. That's Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub at ribrub.com.
Y'all remember that? Yeah. Yeah, welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. If this is your first time tuning in to the show, this is kind of how we do it. I play the best old school bumper music in the universe. I say real music. So here's a little Shaka Khan, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan. Yeah. Yeah, you will, Shaka. Yeah. Let's get a little bit of this right here. Tell me.
Tell me that you love me, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, I was driving across the country last weekend, and I've got a great music selection on my phone, in my computer. I mean, I've got music out the yin yang. So it hit me, and there's so many bands that you could play. And at one point I was just playing a song, and I decided, I guess after the death of Maurice White, that I'd play for. I mean, because you can't get the depth of what I'm trying to do in introducing people or reintroducing people to the music that made the music today. Unfortunately, it's been bastardized so much today it doesn't even sound the same. But I decided I'd start playing full bands or full artists, and this is what I do every Saturday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. I pick an artist, and like I said, I was driving and I thought about Rufus and Shaka Khan. I mean, those were some bad boys and girls. Back in the day, if y'all don't know it, everybody wanted a Shaka Khan. You know what I'm saying? Man, when you listed the fine black sisters back in the day, ones you wanted to meet or marry, Shaka Khan was always on that list. Let's see. Shaka Khan, Pam Grier, Jane Kennedy. Let's see. Who else? Diane Carroll. I'm trying to think of some others. Yeah, Diane Carroll, man. Yeah, she played Julia back in the day. You know, it wasn't many black women that they put on TV. So the ones they put on TV, they were either if they was. I tell you what, Renee Diggs for I think what she sang with One Way. Yeah. Let me stop. Anyway, we're talking a little sports this morning. A lot of things to talk about. And let's just quickly, because we're in the middle of the Sweet 16. A lot of teams, a couple of teams played last night. Just give you some quick results, and then we'll tell you who's going to play tonight. But if you watch, Butler lost to North Carolina, and the kind of guy, it was really a no-gamer, so to speak, after the scare from Arkansas the week before with North Carolina. But they lost 92-80. Baylor gets pounded by South Carolina. Who would have thunk it? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have my bracket in front of me, but I didn't pick Baylor to go far anyway. This team has a lot of great names, some height, some exciting stars. But for whatever reason, this team didn't gel. And every time I watched them this year, I wasn't impressed. So I didn't expect Baylor to even make it to the Sweet 16, let alone South Carolina. But South Carolina drubs Baylor 70-50. This was probably the most, let's say it this way. This was the most expected game last night. It wasn't the best game, but UCLA over, UK, the University of Kentucky, over UCLA, 86-75. And I'm going to be honest with you. Kentucky took over that game, and you kind of knew Kentucky was going to win that game. UCLA wasn't in it. Kentucky, I'm going to tell you, what's the kid's name for De'Aaron? I can't even think of his last name. Fox, De'Aaron Fox. That's going to be somebody's #1 draft pick. That boy is the real deal. It's clear, and I know a lot of people were talking about Monk early on, and Monk is the real deal as well, but De'Aaron Fox is the realer deal. Realer dealer. Okay? So, and then, of course, we're going to get into this thing with ball last night as well. Also, the game of the night was Wisconsin and Florida. Florida wins on a last-second three-point shot, 84-83. An exciting game all the way around. And really, that kind of ushered in March Madness. In the past, now, we saw Middle Tennessee State do an upset early on, but we haven't had a lot of the, the last-second shots, the thriller dillers. We've had a few. But last night, I think that game, it took us till we got to the Sweet 16, but it took to that, in that Florida-Wisconsin game, the last-second shot, for us to really get to a point where, hey, yeah, now we here. You know, that's what I'm talking about. So it was really a good game last night. Just to give an example, and I want to talk quick, just looking at the box scores, De'Aaron Fox had 39 points last night. All right. He was literally unstoppable. Well, I shouldn't say literally. He was unstoppable. Okay? Monk had 21. And they just took Lonzo Ball out of his game. He only had 10 points. Had 8 assists, but he had 10 points. And for all that noise his dad was talking, it's ironic because he's got 2 younger brothers who are in high school, and they were in the quarterfinals. They lost in high school, the younger boys. And he was talking about how great his boys are going to be and this, that, and the other. Put too much pressure on these kids, all right? But at the end of the day, Zobal has declared that he's going to the NBA draft. Wasn't a surprise there, okay? I've got a little commentary on Lavar Ball later on in the show. Stick and stay for that. I'm going to rip him a little bit, and I'm going to applaud him a little bit because I agree a lot with what he's doing, okay? And what he's saying about the NCAA. Because y'all kind of know how I feel about the NCAA at this point in time. But anyway, tell you what, we're going to go out and take another little quick break. When we come back, we got some more NCAA basketball to talk about. We might even get into a little NBA, but right now, like I said, this hour is probably going to be dedicated to college basketball. And why not? You tell me. Why wouldn't it be? Right? Talk to you in a moment. It's the Weekly Sports Magazine. Call me up. Oh, by the way, you can also download the app. Go out to your app store and download the JoyNet app. It's the purple and white app that says JoyNet. You can't miss it. It says Joy. You can't miss it. All right. Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dave Coleman on JoyNetRadio.com.
Remember what happened last year?
Yeah, Gramps, we had a great time.
Yeah, and then it started death in the process.
What are you talking about? There was plenty of food.
Yeah, food that didn't even taste good. Somebody needs to teach that side of the family how to barbecue. Did you see them folks Coleman's dynamic rip rub like I told you?
Yes, Grandpa. After last year, I knew that was the only way we would go this year.
Hey fans, what? You haven't tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub? It's great for meats, veggies, and snacks. Let your fingers do the walking and log on to ribrub.com. That's RIBBRUBB.com. Then let your mouth do the talking about great recipes and gift ideas. Then you too can bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah.
Hey, business owners and entrepreneurs, our illustrious leader, JC Love, is so excited he's put together a 5th anniversary advertising package just for your business. Me personally, I think he's lost his ever-loving mind. Here's what you get. 3 months of advertising, 3 times per day, Monday through Friday, and we throw in weekends just for kicks. We blast your business on the JoyNet Radio social media network. Live mentions on the air. You get not 1, not 2, but 3 live interviews throughout the duration of the ad cycle. That's a $1,200 value. This total package is only $375. That's right, $375. Business owners, get to the phones right now. Call 855-525-5683 for the next 3 months. JoyNetRadio.com has celebrated its 5th year anniversary, and the savings are being passed on to you. Heads up, people. Join us June 8th through the 10th, 2017 for a Father's Family Affair. It's a day to accentuate, celebrate, and motivate positive fathers in our community. On that day, we'll uplift and show some love to the dynamic men in our lives, our brothers, uncles, fathers, and friends. Support this event with your tax-deductible contributions. Proceeds for the event go to Part of the Solution, a great nonprofit right here in the Little Rock area. Tell a friend, tell your church, tell everybody. A Father's Family Affair, June 8th, 9th, and 10th, Philander Smith College campus. Come out and enjoy a day of hula hooping, water gun fights, and Zumba dancing, along with a uniquely natural hair fashion show. Black Riders on Tour, Southern Edition, featuring Kendrick Norman and Dr. Rosie Milligan. That's just the start. We'll see you there June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. That's in the background, Hollywood. Rufus featuring Shaka Khan. Man, that is a sweet song right there. Probably my favorite. Of course, I know what you're saying. Sweet Thing. The Sweet Thing is everybody's favorite. But that particular song, Hollywood, when you check that out, listen to the lyrics, it's a really nice cut. It really is. I hope you're enjoying the music this morning. I play the best old school bumper music in the universe. I'm here every Saturday morning. We call it the Weekly Sports Magazine. Do me a favor. Go out to your app store and download the app. It's the JoyNet app. Just go ahead. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It's one of the ways we track how many people are listening to the station, but most importantly, that's where you get the full effect of the station. So things that I'm playing in the background that you may not hear, that you will not hear on YouTube and Facebook, those recordings, you will hear the full effect on when you download that app, okay? Because those YouTube and Facebook, I am streaming directly from two different points of media, okay? So those points of media are not attached to the station system, all right? I do that just as a courtesy for people who like to see Facebook and stuff like that, all right? So please go out and download the app. Also, don't forget about the Father's Family Affair. Need your help on that. So we were talking a little bit about college basketball. Today's game, we're into the Elite Eight now, folks. You know, the Sweet 16 was Thursday and Friday. The games this weekend are the Elite Eight. So today, we've got Xavier versus Gonzaga, and we've got Oregon versus Kansas. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here because Xavier, let's see, we've got Kansas and Gonzaga. They are both 1 seeds. And we've got North Carolina and Kentucky. And we've got North Carolina. So we've still got 3 1 seeds left. So we've got 3 1 seeds, a 7, a 4, a 3, and an 11. So we've got a diverse seeding as it relates to who's left in the tournament. But I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Oregon's going to beat Kansas today, and I think Gonzaga is going to lose to Xavier. Not sold on Gonzaga. Sorry. Yeah, they've made it to the Elite Eight, but I think they got the easiest route to the Elite Eight and the Final Four. And I said at the beginning of the tournament that if Gonzaga can't get to the finals this time with the easy path that they got, then they don't deserve to be all of this hype. Finally, they got the number 1 seed, yada, yada, yada. Let's see what happens. But I'm going to be honest, I think they go down to Xavier today. They should have lost last week. So Kansas and Oregon, that's a tough call. Man, I like the way Oregon is playing right now. I'm going to pick Oregon in that game. I really am. It looks to me, and look, both of these teams are very, very good. In fact, all of these teams are very good to get to this point. But I've got to pick Oregon in that game. I'm going to be honest with you. Tomorrow, just quickly picking a couple of those games, South Carolina at Florida. Isn't it amazing? Look at who's left in the Elite Eight. All of that noise about the SEC isn't that good. The ACC is the best conference. So the ACC, let's see how many teams the ACC has left. We'll get back to the schedule here in a moment. But when I want to be sure that I talk about this, because if you are designated the best conference, then you ought to be able to get multiple teams close to the finals, and at least you ought to win it every now and then. I'm just saying. So let's see. Okay. So the Big 12. How many of y'all got? The Pac-10. Look, all of these conferences. The Pac-12, the Big 12. I'm laughing because when you look at what's left over, the ACC, all of those conferences were designated better than the SEC. Every one of them. And light years better. And certainly we had people saying that the ACC at one point was going to get 11 teams in. 11! Which is ridiculous. I don't care how big your conference is. Look, you still got to do it on the court. And remember, everybody was crying about Syracuse at the beginning of the year. And, I'm on this rant right now because when you look at the Elite Eight right now, when you look at it right now, did I say right now? You're going to have South Carolina, Florida, and Kentucky all in the Elite Eight. Okay? So, check this out. At least 2 SEC schools are to get to the Final Four. Well, at least 1. Let me take that back. I was assuming that Kentucky's going to beat North Carolina. So you got to get at least 1 SEC school. You know what? And that Kentucky-North Carolina game is going to be a heck of a ball game. Right now, the way Kentucky is playing, I felt like earlier in the season, Kentucky is not going to win it. I think this team can win it. I think they can beat North Carolina. And then that would set up a SEC semifinal game. The way the brackets are set up. Isn't that funny? Yeah, that would set up an SEC, maybe it wouldn't. It'd be SEC. I'll go and look at the full brackets here. Let me just do that and see how that would set up. Let's see here. Okay, come on. Let me see the live bracket. But anyway, so my point being is that when you look at the SEC with 3 schools left in the Elite Eight, so let's see here. So that would make... No. So what it would set up is it would set up an SEC school that would be is that the West? No, that's the East versus the West, and then the North Carolina Kentucky game would be that's a South game, and they would play the way it's looking right now. They would play a North squad, a Midwest squad. So that would be the winner of the Kansas-Oregon game. Okay. So that's how that would play out, the way it's looking, the way the brackets are looking right now. All right, so but here's the bottom line. There's going to be at least one SEC school in the finals. At least one. And all that noise that people were talking about the SEC and how, look, let's be realistic. Let's quickly take a look back to last week and the Arkansas-North Carolina game. In my opinion, and Lord knows, I'm not a homer, all right? I'm not a homer by any stretch of the imagination. I have valued my career as being down the middle, okay? Even if it's my team. You know, my kids laugh at me all the time. You know, I'm a Raider fan, all right? So I'll sit and watch a game, and I won't utter a sound. I may cheer, I may not. Well, let me take that back. I will sometimes scream at the TV. But the point being is I'm usually down the middle. So when you look at that Arkansas-North Carolina game last week, Arkansas got jobbed. The officiating was horrible. As a matter of fact, the officiating in the entire tournament has been horrible. Well, hello, Miss Tiffany. How you doing? Appreciate you joining me this morning. The officiating has been horrible the entire tournament. But in that Arkansas game, if you call the charge that was clearly a charge by the guard who pushed off the Razorback, as opposed to once he lost the ball, it bounces in a Carolina player's hand and he scores. That changed the whole aspect of the game. Arkansas should have won that game. That game's over if you make that call right there, in my opinion. All right? So Carolina shouldn't even be in the position that they're in my opinion. Now I know you say what's the old saying? If and nuts were candy and nuts. Well, let me take that back. If and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, okay? So we can go back and if all that stuff if we want to. But at the end of the day, it should have been Arkansas over North Carolina. So when you look at today's game, it probably could have been Arkansas playing Kentucky again, which wouldn't have been pretty because Kentucky dominated Arkansas this year, but still. You look at what's going on in the tournament and all that noise that we heard. Look, here's my point. For years that we've talked about the SEC in football and how good the SEC in football really is, all right? And if you go back, how many national championships have the SEC won over the last 10 years? Is it 7 out of 10, 8 out of 11, somewhere in there? I can look it up. So when you say that you are the best conference, then that means you should win a national title to prove that you are a best conference. You should not get to the finals and lose every year. Would you agree with that? All right? And if you say that everybody else in your conference is good, then they should step up and play well as well. Now, unfortunately, in football, we don't have a barometer to determine if a team plays well in the postseason. And you might say, well, those are bowl games. Well, bowl games doesn't mean anything. So, like games in the NCAAs. So these kids play their hearts out in the NCAA basketball tournament. They don't in bowl games because bowl games don't mean anything. Except when you getting to the Final Four of these bowl games. All right? So my point being is that if you are considered, and the way the media howled this year about the ACC and how great the ACC is, and how many schools they were talking about, hey, well, we ought to just put the whole conference in the tournament. And you got one team left. You had more than anybody. You got one team left. And you may not win the national title. So maybe the ACC wasn't as good as the media and the sports media try to make them out to be. Think about it from this perspective. Let's go back to my analogy. In the SEC, when we were saying football, the SEC tournament, well, the SEC conference was the best football conference. They were winning. I tell you what, y'all think I'm playing here because a lot of these people here, see, they hate the SEC so badly, and they were glad to see the SEC suffering in basketball. They dominated us in football, but let's see here. SEC championship history. Okay. I just had to pull this up because, see, all these people talking all this noise about the SEC because you hate them so much. So check this out. You can go back a long way, but I'm just going to start in 90. Well, they won it in 96, 98, 2003, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2015, and they didn't win it last year. 2000. Well, is that what they won it in? Alabama won last year, and then Clemson won this year. So what does that say? I'm looking at Wikipedia, and that they only go to 2015. So Alabama. So let's see. They won the SEC tournament. Let's say starting in 2000. Since 2000, they've won the SEC tournament 10 times. That suggests to me that that particular conference is the best conference and has been the best conference. If I go back and pull up the National Basketball Championships, it won't show that. Now, now let's be honest. The ACC has won quite a few shares themselves, all right? But they have not won consistently the way the SEC in basketball has. And particularly this year, the way people were crowing about the ACC and how many schools should be in the conference, should be in the tournament. And you only get one team to advance to the Elite Eight. That doesn't suggest to me that you're a better conference. And then you go back and you look at all the others. You look at the Pac-10. You look at the Big 12 and all this noise that they were talking about the Big 12. The same thing applies. The same thing applies. But little old bitty SEC has 3 schools. And Arkansas used to put it on South Carolina. Okay? So, not sure what's going on there, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Not a lot of sense at all. So when we come back, I'm gonna jump out here on the internet, and I'm gonna pull up the stats for the last few years for college basketball, just to look and see how many SEC schools have won it. I mean ACC schools have won over the last 10 years. I mean, I think it's fair. It's a fair comparison as far as I'm concerned, because you hear this all the time. So let's find out. That's what I love the internet for. You know, when I go out and talk to young people, I tell them all the time that, look, the most powerful weapon you have, you carry it around in your pocket every day, and that's a computer. Some will say it's a phone. No, it's not a phone. It's a computer that allows you to make phone calls. Did y'all know that? So anytime when I talk to them, a lot of times I'll ask them a particular question, and they'll pretend like, I don't know. And then I'll say check your phones. So you can go out and find a lot of this information, and that's the great thing about modern technology, okay? So look, we're going to go out and take a break. Thanks for joining everybody on Facebook. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on JoyNetRadio.com. Back in a moment.
Time to go to the family reunion.
I ain't going nowhere. Remember what happened last year?
Yeah, Gramps, we had a great time.
Yeah, in the storm and death in the process.
What are you talking about? There was plenty of food.
That food that didn't even taste good. Somebody needs to teach that side of the family how to barbecue. Did you see them folks Coleman's dynamic rip rub like I told you?
Yes, Grandpa. After last year, I knew that was the only way you would go this year.
Hey fans, what? You ever tried Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub? It's great for meats, veggies, and snacks. Let your fingers do the walking and log on to ribrub.com. That's RIBBRUBB.com. Then let your mouth do the talking about great recipes and gift ideas. Then you too can bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah.
Hey, business owners and entrepreneurs, our illustrious leader, JC Love, is so excited he's put together a 5th anniversary advertising package just for your business. Me personally, I think he's lost his ever-loving mind. Here's what you get. 3 months of advertising, 3 times per day, Monday through Friday, and we throw in weekends just for kicks. We blast your business